right. Hello, future generations who will doubtless be watching this long after we all are dead. I am kcStranger. These are my, as far as I know, mostly childless but not entirely so players. And this is the Crystal Tomb. As always, the Crystal Tomb is brought to you by XSplit Broadcaster and by Tractor Blend. So, last time, the party partied hard. After helping 2 soldiers to gather up a dozen barrels of ale, Maxis eventually found his way to their house party, where he crushed it at arm wrestling. Meanwhile, Colleen and Kane finished their shopping trip and went to the gate leading to Capitol Hill, as Colleen was hoping to pick up an additional spell scroll or 2. After waiting for a few hours, they were allowed in by Ethna Greensword, who took them to a shop near University Square. At the shop, Colleen was surprised to find her childhood friend, Dweelig, working at kind of a service desk. After greeting him exuberantly, she immediately took advantage of him to get a discount on a restricted spell scroll for Modify Memory. And afterwards, like a good friend, they brought him back to the Winking Giant, where Colleen and Dweelig proceeded to get completely hammered. Fallon and Anya returned from their night out to witness the end of the festivities, then returned to their room for a nightcap of their own. Between searching for Fallon's family and investigating the cleric who seemed to be behind the attack that they stumbled on that night, they had a lot to think about, but it would wait for a few moments more. Meanwhile, Ernan hit up one more bar with Moira Steeltree before crossing the stream to the Temple of Neros and starting a rave. They partied into the morning before Ernan led Moira to a more private location, at which point he was bound by a rope of entanglement and learned about Moira's favorite brand of kink. And we open as the sun peaks over the horizon. The entire group lies asleep in their beds, and I ask everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. Maxis, if you can, pull open Kane's character sheet and make that for him. That would be great. Alright, Maxis, you are safe. I presume that the second one was Kane. Kane is also safe.
Yeah.
Alright, your name.
That is some dope-ass rolls.
Yeah.
I am definitely hungover.
You're fairly used to this. I took into account exactly how hard people partied into the DCs here.
Great.
Colleen. Oh.
I had a feeling this would happen.
And Fallon con save when you get a moment. Oh, and I need to make one for Anya.
So do I just need to like cover all the windows here clean? Like you don't look functional, hon. Like damn.
Well, I probably will have trouble walking.
All right. So
we had to borrow an extra bucket.
the sun peeks over the horizon, just peeks in a little bit around the curtain, but Colleen and Fallon, the two of you feel like it's lancing a spear of burning radiant energy straight through your head. And you're torn between the desire not to move and the splitting headache that's telling you need to, like, get something to eat or something like that. Colleen, this has been, you gather, what would normally be enough time in meditation for you. But considering what you put your body through, you really, on the one hand, you feel like you need more time. On the other hand, as I said, you've got a pounding headache right now.
Not doing so hot.
Anyone trying to do anything about this situation?
I mean, can I get up and get food or whatever I need to do to feel better?
Yeah, sure. You sort of, your eyes go left and right across the room. You do see Anya still lying there, and you let out a little grunt and pull yourself out of bed. Mork is sort of around the little bend closer to the door, and you sort of step over him. He huffs gently as you walk out of the room and stumble down the hallway. Colleen, how about you?
Looking at replacing my blood with new blood.
Is that literal?
No. I was looking at it.
I
It's
mean, it
something that I
feasibly
do in
could
the
be with
future.
you, so I figured
Yeah.
I'd check.
It is a thing that I'm capable of, but I did not take those spells. So, I will probably just be miserable and go look for food.
Okay. So Fallon, you open the door, start stumbling down the hallway. A moment as you're walking down, you see another door open in front of you, and this is not Colleen's zombie, but it is a zombie Colleen who steps out of the door, and you barely register that there's another being in front of you and sort of stop. You can walk
Okay.
around her if you want. You don't have to. I mean, are you guys just gonna sort of zombie down to the main room together?
Sure.
Yes.
I might have to roll real dice because my computer is actually dying.
Real dice are better. Digital dice are evil.
That's really unfortunate. Well, all right. So everybody, send your energy to Prof's computer, and I'm gonna go ahead and forge ahead for the time being.
It's fine. It started acting weird, so I put Discord on my phone, so it might be a little worse than usual, but
Okay.
we'll find
yep.
out, I suppose.
Not terrible. Noticeable, but not terrible. Okay, so Colleen and Fallon, the two of you sort of make your way to the common area. The gnome who greeted you before has been replaced with a human man, sort of dark brown hair, like utterly generic appearance. Like if somebody was just drawing like a picture of a person to stick in the background so you wouldn't notice him in a scene, but they could just fill him out. That's what this guy looks like. Okay, by the way, Maxis, you are picking up quite a bit more background now. So,
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know if there's like a mute option or something you could go on and off if you know you're going to be out of a scene.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, cool. All right, and as the two of you walk in, he just says, "Morning."
Sorry. Food.
He looks at the two of you, right, and disappears for a moment. The two of you stand there just in silence, waiting. He does come back with 2 plates. They've got some eggs, some sausages, and some bread, a little bit of jam. Nothing too fancy, but looks all right. And then just 2 glasses of water. And he sets them on the nearest table and nods at you.
I go straight for the bread and jam.
I'll flip him a silver. Is that good enough?
Yeah, I mean, it was included. Like the cost of the food is included in your stay. If you want to like tip him, you can absolutely
Yeah.
do that.
He gets a silver.
All right. All right. So the two of you start eating. Are you doing anything or saying anything in particular, or are you just gonna eat and then zombie back to your rooms?
Just like one hand On
I
face.
I guess I thought I had like one beer before I went to bed. I just want to mention that. I didn't realize like I was in the same boat, I guess, as the
So,
as,
so here's the
Like-
thing. You did have some drinks while you were out with Anya, and then you had one when you came back. It's not a ton. Normally, you'd think it wouldn't affect you like this, but you did. I will tell you, because of that,
Not
I set the DC of your check very low. You had a
Okay.
DC 4 Constitution save, and you rolled
And I
a
had
3.
Yeah, this is true.
So that's
Got
why
it.
you're in on this.
Out of curiosity, what was my DC?
Yours was 9.
Mine was probably impossible.
Because you drank a lot, but you're also a big guy
I
who's
feel like
used to it.
mine was probably
That's
high
true,
up
I
there.
suppose.
No, the only I had Colleen and Dweelig at 14. Everybody else was lower.
Really?
All right. So yeah, Fallon, anything in particular, or just nomming up and then going back to bed?
Yeah, that pretty much.
Okay. So the two of you sit and share an amicable silence in which you both just stuff your faces, in hopes of, like, I don't know, adding something to your bloodstream that is going to counteract the pounding headaches that you have. You both zombie back down the hall together and go to bed. Both of you can give me one more Constitution save. Oh, Colleen. Alright. Alright, Colleen, you, so Fallon, you fall back in bed. It wasn't the worst hangover you've ever had. You'll be fine. Colleen, you really did a number on yourself last night, and you have trouble even slipping back into your meditation. Take a level of exhaustion.
Where do I mark that?
Wherever you want. Honestly, I normally just put it like at the top of my features and traits. Oh, and I forgot to roll for Dweelig.
There is like another resource tab thing. You can put it in there. I used to do that.
Mine are full.
Oh, Dweelig's fine.
I
Yeah,
have
Dweelig.
my resources are full of parchment and kills against Maxis.
I mean, you can add more to that if you want. There's like a little plus sign where you can add extra
Yeah.
bubbles. Okay. So now we are. So, some time passes. Colleen, I will say, after about half an hour, you kind of sense that it isn't happening. So if you want to use the next couple hours before everyone else wakes up to do something, that's fine.
What's not happening?
Going back into your meditation and really shaking this off is what's not happening. So like basically, you're not going to be able to get a full night's rest. But given that you're not resting, if you'd like to just sort of grunt and get something done with the time, you certainly can.
I'm gonna modify my own memory and forget that I'm hungover. No, I'm gonna work on that though. I guess.
Work on the spell. Which one?
Let's finish up suggestion.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely finish up suggestion. Let me think. It's the time now. Actually, you have 4 hours, so you can even put 2 into another one if you want. I forget how much money you still have, because it does take that.
I think it is hilarious that it costs money to write a book.
Well, it's just shorthand for it's supposed to be like fine inks and stuff like that. But I figured I'm making you track some other items. I won't make you track that.
But yeah, so I already paid for the suggestion. I just need to time it.
Okay.
I'm afraid to ask what modify memory costs.
Modify memory is not a necromancy, so it's going to be 250 gold for the components for that.
I've got 3 platinum and 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, so that's like 80 gold, which is not 250. You have a lot of silver for some reason. Why do you have so much silver?
Because you gave me silver when we gambled.
Oh. Okay. You can convert some of that to gold if you want to. I'll just allow that. It's up to you.
Is that 10 per?
Yeah. But okay. So yeah, I mean, if you want to spend 50 gold to get 2 hours out of the 10 that you need for modify memory, you can do that. Just remember you'll have to
I'll
pay
do
for
that.
the rest later.
Okay.
All right, so 2 out of 10 on modify memory.
And
Okay.
50 gold.
Yeah, and 50 gold out of 250 is what you've paid.
Woo!
you're
Just has like the outside circle of the glyph.
Bon Jovi begins singing "We're 20% of the way there." It was a rejected early version of the song.
I like that. Can Gamork have attuned to his cap?
Yes, I will allow that. As a matter of fact, any of the recent items that you picked up, I'll allow that there's enough sort of generic wandering around in the morning time that if you're not attuned, you can be attuned now.
Yay!
All right. So with this, we are going to actually head over to Ernan. So Ernan, a few hours have passed now, and finally you open an eye lazily, sleep still weighing down your eyelids. Stretched out beside you, you see Moira Steeltree. You know that nothing about being a princess requires that someone be beautiful, but yet you offer a silent thanks to Miros, or whoever determined it should be so in this case. You start to reach towards her, then you remember that your hands are still tied securely to the bed frame.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
She left you like that all night? That's rude as hell. That is just bad etiquette.
Apparently that happened. And, yeah, you could probably get out of this if you need to, though. It's not, like, particularly tight. And actually, your arms are a bit uncomfortably stiff, so nothing for it then. You could use a spell, that might be a bit much, and then across the room you spot your +1 stick of poking. Not to be confused with your, I don't know how many pluses on that stick of poking. Anyways.
I rolled a 13. That's how many
69.
pluses.
Plus 69. Come on.
Anyways, that should work. If you just wedge it into the knot, that should loosen it enough that you can wiggle free. And then your sleep-addled brain catches up to the fact that the problem with this plan is that it's on the other side of the room. Maybe you could just ask that woman to hand it to you? Wait a minute, something's off. Take a moment and count how many women you had sex with last night. The count comes to 1. So... Kalea looks at you with a bemused grin. Idly, you notice that she's dressed for the occasion. She usually wears leathers, but now she's dressed in a light, silky nightdress of a deep purple. And she looks at you and says, "Well done," and clapping her hands mockingly. "I knew you had it in you. Now the question is," she strides over to you and puts a talon-like nail under your chin, lifting your head to face hers. "Were you paying attention?"
So what?
"Last night, I'm sure you remember the events shortly before falling asleep."
Well, yes.
"So, did you notice what you should have noticed?"
I don't know, did I?
It would appear not. She takes her finger down from under your chin and says, "Allow me to replay a scene from last night. Kalea waves her hand, and you have the bizarre experience of watching yourself, well... anyways, luckily you don't seem to be the focus of this replay. Moira does, and that's fine by you. But the focus is her eyes. Her pupils are dilated. Wait. For just a moment, they went entirely black. Kalea smiles and looks at you. You see it? I could tell you, but let me see if you can put the pieces together. Free-spirited young princess, into a particular sort of kink. Eyes go completely black, you probably didn't notice, but she's a sorcerer. And on top of it all, I'm the one bringing this up. Let's see if you can tell what I'm hinting at.
Didn't I already know she was a sorcerer?
Oh, so you did. Well, okay, you're on top of that one.
I'm like 80% sure I knew that.
Yeah, out of character, I forgot that I put that in the blurb that I sent you. Back in character.
Okay.
Ernan, give me a nature check.
A nature check.
A nature check.
Oh, that's a lovely 10.
10, huh? Well, so slowly the gears of your brain start grinding. You think, all right, Kalea, she's the one who's always telling me I need to worry about the dragon spirits. So, what are the colors of the chromatic dragons? There's black, red, white, blue, green. It's probably something important about at least one of them in all of that. But you have a little trouble remembering exactly the fact that you're looking for.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, question is, Clea's trying to see if you're taking the hint. So she told you that. So you have a free spirit.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hungover am I?
How hungover?
Yes.
Not that bad. You can tell that you were drinking and partying last night, but you're fairly used to it. No pounding headache or anything like that.
I'm going to pretend like I'm really hungover, so.
Okay, give me performance.
That's a 13.
13. All right. You just sort of, you look like you're trying to think for a moment, and then you just sort of roll back. Kalea seems to buy the act. She sighs. Fine, make me lay it out for you. Do you know what the most sadistic of the dragons is? The most cruel.
Is it the kind that you are?
I'm not a dragon, I just like to accessorize. However, if, say, someone was being influenced by the spirit of, say, an ancient black dragon, it might manifest itself in certain proclivities. Are you following?
Are you trying to say she's a dragon?
I'm trying to tell you that she's carrying the spirit of one.
I would like to check and see if I see anything particularly dragon-like with her. Like tail, claws, horns, fire breath.
Moira, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and you turn around and take a look at her.
It's a 14 perception.
Okay. She looks normal enough. I mean, her hair is red, not black. So that's not a thing. You don't... Her skin isn't scaly. She doesn't have a tail. Not particularly dragonish, as far as you can tell.
I'm going to roll my eyes aggressively in the direction of what's-her-face.
Kalea?
Yeah, her. The not dragon lady.
Allow me to draw an analogy. Do you... Well, actually... Okay, yeah, let me think. How particularly like a stunningly attractive, slightly demon-looking, slightly dragon-looking woman do you appear?
Have I recently cut my fingernails?
I don't know, roll for fingernail cutting.
It's an 11 plus whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Like about a week ago. Well, actually, no. It would have been shortly before you left to the tower. So, like 2 weeks ago.
I mean, probably need to trim my nails, but otherwise not so much.
Right. So, does that girl have to look like a dragon to be carrying the spirit of one? Makes you feel any better. She probably has it in her. I mean, to look like one. At least more.
Last I checked, the only thing that was in her was me.
Dear God.
Glad to see you're getting your wit back.
Okay, so what's the point of this exactly?
Now she rolls her eyes. The point is that ring you picked up implicitly binds you to recover the spirits of the 5 ancient chromatic dragons. And now you are next to one.
Define recover.
She smiles a little bit, leans back against...
Is this a normal
wall.
smile or an evil smile?
Insight.
Wow, that's a bad roll. It's a 10.
She's not really trying to hide it too much. It's mischievous, or
That's worrisome.
a little, like, pleased at the very least. It's not like... You don't get the sense that it's like an evil smile, but it's like a, this is the part of the job that I like sort of smile, if that makes sense.
I'm going to scowl at her.
There's a ritual that can be done to, shall we say, extract the spirit of the ancient dragons. It does help if you have a relationship with the target. It helps if the target is willing. If you try to perform it on a complete stranger, things might not go very well.
Not a fan of the phrase target, just for the record. Not loving that. Can you find a new word, please?
It helps if you know the avatar of the spirit.
Okay.
Well, not avatar, that's not the right word. What is the right word? The vessel. That'll be the word. All right. It helps if you know the vessel well.
Okay.
And if the vessel is willing to participate in the ritual. And then I do my thing, you engage in a battle of wills against the dragon, and hopefully bind it to that lovely ring that you have.
Wait, sorry, engage with battle?
Of wills. You're not going to have to kill an ancient dragon yourself.
What about the vessel?
She'll be fine.
Insight. That's a 16.
16. She seemed more impatient than deceitful.
Okay. So, what does this mean I'm doing?
She says, well, unfortunately, I can't force you to do very much. However, if you could find a way to convince her that she's carrying the spirit of the ancient black dragon, a Sith destroyer of life, and that we would be very much obliged if she would allow us to perform a little ceremony to pull it out of her, that would be great. I mean, or we could always just force the matter, but that would make life more difficult for all of us.
Boy, there's some innuendo to be had right there.
Good boy.
Are we sure pulling out's the option I want?
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, are we sure that the pulling out is the right option?
In this case, well, you've talked to your companions, right? Apparently, the goddess herself gave them this mission, and it is the mission that I am bound to as well, by the same goddess, Innis. You might say it's the reason for my being.
Okay.
Who was he talking to when this?
I'm talking to some kind of weird dragon demon lady who lives in my ring.
Oh, well, never mind. Then I wouldn't know. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought it was the guild lady, and then I was like,
no,
wait,
this
this
is some
doesn't
kind of
make sense.
hallucination.
Yeah, something like that. For full
Some kind of
context,
hallucination that I'm
see
not
the back-
convinced is not trying to get me to kill her.
Yeah, for full context, see the backstory bit that I gave Spork before he joined the campaign, which none of you have. So I'm sorry, was that last bit in character actually?
Which last bit?
You said
telling
about
you-
not being convinced that this is a good thing.
No, that's not in character. But
Okay.
that is my character not entirely believing her.
Okay. So right now you're in sort of a staring contest, basically.
Right. Okay. So now what?
She shrugs. Now I disappear and, well, hopefully you do what I want you to do, but as I said, I'm not going to coerce you or anything. Talk to the others if you need more understanding of the importance of this.
I'm gonna probably do that. Yeah.
I understand. Anyways, she looks down. I'm probably intruding a bit here, so she waves a little bit and says, have a good second day in the city.
I will.
She turns and sort of starts walking away, but as she does, she just sort of fades.
Good for her. I would like to do this as she fades away.
You'd like to what?
I'd like to flip her off from behind as she walks and fades away.
Okay.
Ruining my morning.
You see no indication that she
Makes me feel better.
noticed
It's all
that.
that matters.
And yeah, at this point, just a few moments later, you hear a sigh from beside you, and Moira sort of rolls over and opens her eyes, looks up at you, says, "Good morning, Aaron." And then she looks up at your hands, says, Oh, I'm sorry. Party foul.
A little
And
bit, yeah.
she reaches up and loosens the rope so you can pull your hands out.
I'm going to kind of stretch my shoulders out a bit.
All right. She yawns again, says, "Ugh, my dad's gonna kill me when I finally go back. Well,
He says you have
while
to
he's
go back.
being glad that I didn't get killed, I guess." What'd
I
you
mean, he
say?
says you have to go back right away.
Oh, I certainly didn't say that. There's special and exciting things I still need to show you before we go back.
Right on.
She rolls over, gives another very long sigh, and then starts slipping into her clothes. Do you have anything for
Aww.
breakfast around here?
Obviously.
That sounds great. Can you get something?
Sure. I will pull on, I don't know, a bathrobe sort of thing and go wandering for food.
Okay. You know what? Just for fun, give me survival with advantage is what I'm going to call this. Foraging for food in your natural habitat.
Survival, you say?
Yeah, with advantage.
That's a 23.
23. All right. You
Well,
come
a 7
back.
and a 19.
You come back with the kind of breakfast that you pay like $60 for in Vegas. And she looks at
I'm gonna like flip a grape up into the air and catch it with my mouth as it comes to the door.
All right, this does require some execution. Give me acrobatics. Not a particularly hard check.
That is a 17.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. With style and panache, you manage this. And
Yeah, I'm
her
straight.
eyebrows climb very high and says, "Well, you do know how to treat a girl."
I flip a grape towards her.
She catches it as well.
Right on.
The two of you share a lovely little breakfast. So back with the rest of the group. Oh, my music stopped. That's why it sounds wrong. Hate it when it does this. All right. So back to the rest of the group. Morning comes in full. You sort of slowly wake up, realize it's well into the morning, well past when you normally wake up at this point. Groggily climb out of your beds. I'll allow that there were general plans to sort of all assemble in the main area in the morning. Anyone want to do anything in particular before you all wind up sort of meeting around breakfast and talking about what you're going to do for the day and stuff like that?
Draw like all over what's his name's face.
With what?
What?
I have like charcoal or something, don't
I mean, do you have something to do with it? Do this with? Are you gonna steal
I?
something?
Disguise kit. I definitely have some type of like face paint or something in disguise kit.
Oh,
Like-
okay. All right. So what are you doing with that then? Just like
I don't know,
randomly
like
doodling?
dicks, random doodles, like maybe some glasses.
Okay.
Just like a penis, like from like his jaw all the way to like his
I
nose.
was gonna say he's drawing a dick on his face. Like we don't need to beat
Well,
around.
definitely, but there's some other stuff like glasses, dick from like jaw to like mouth, like
All right. So this is going to be
the huge.
this is going to be with disadvantage.
He was
given-
plastic. He was like blackout drug.
He also had a pretty good
And I was
Before you joined, he had a pretty good Constitution save, so I'm going to give him a check. If he failed the Constitution save, no way. But
I definitely got it before him too, like way before him.
I understand.
Like I was fine. What was the check?
Perception, but no check for you. Or actually, you know what? No, give me sleight of hand.
Let's go nat one.
I mean, he'd have to.
Don't you curse me like this.
He would have to crit fail because Dweelig crit failed because he had disadvantage on that for being actually asleep.
Okay.
You know, as I think about it, I'm surprised it took this long to have a dick drawing.
I mean, who else would I ever? I mean, I've met with people, but like, you know, I see them on a regular basis. Like, I wouldn't draw one on clean. That'd be just rude. Maxis could probably kill me.
All right.
I'm just down enough. You know, it's just. It's...
Yeah. All right. You make the drawing.
That's implying that you couldn't hide it amongst all of my tattoos. I'd be like, oh, there's a fucking new one. What is with this?
There's no point if it's not obviously there's a dick on you. There's no point, is there?
You do notice as you do that he does have a pretty nice scar on the left side of his face. Just something interesting. You would have noticed that before, honestly, but since you're actually drawing on his face, I'll go ahead and mention it at this point. It sort of runs all the way down his left cheek.
And that would be the line I draw along the shaft.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Anything before you sort of all gather?
Nah, I'll probably just head down stairs straight away.
All right. So you all sort of gather yourselves. You know, emerge from your places of hiding, and all gather in the sort of common room. Dweelig comes in late. Or he comes in last, I'm sorry. The guy behind the counter doesn't bat an eye or say anything. He just gets Dweelig his breakfast and shows him to the rest of you. Doesn't break one bit. But then Dweelig comes over to the rest of you with, well, this on his face. And he just sort of sits down and starts eating and just says, morning.
What do I draw to keep my composure? Or what do I roll to keep my composure?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. Your choice of performance or deception.
All right. They're equally bad, so... Oh, he has a dick on his face. Oh, that's good. It's good quality stuff. I needed that this morning. Barkeep, can I also have a beer to go with this breakfast? That's going to be a required thing this morning. Oh, wait, is my cask empty?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I will get a beer.
Okay. Let me think. 5 silver for beer.
Can Fallon lean over to whoever's next to him and ask who the kid is with the shit on his face?
Who's next to you? Your choice.
Colleen.
Alright.
I've never seen him, right?
No, you saw him last night.
3 times.
Yeah, he was so fucking blitzed.
But I don't know if I met him the first time. Whenever we're parting ways in the city, I just remember hearing about it. I don't think I was there.
You and
Yeah, I don't think you got actually introduced
in our
because
thing.
We got him out of where?
In that house
that's right.
with the cultists, he was there.
Oh.
Yeah, way back in episode
Very
1.
beginning.
Okay, fine. I lean over to Clean and I say, "Why does that kid with the crap on his face look familiar?"
I just bust out laughing, noticing that Dweelig has arrived at the table with a dick on his face.
Dweelig starts to pick up on all this, and you see him sort of start feeling his face a little bit, and he's like,
I hold up a hand mirror.
"Do you have a hammer?"
You didn't give her back to the dragon?
Hey, a girl's gotta have a mirror.
Did you steal from the... You stole from Dartmouth? How dare you?
I thought we all gave him back.
I feel like I would have given you shit about that at the time if I knew you weren't giving it back. As a matter of fact, I feel like I actually confirmed that you all gave it back at the time.
I have an extra mirror. set in my pack.
I mean, if you would like, I will allow that you picked up a mirror, and I will roll that into your expenses.
All right, I'll take it.
If you'll consent that you gave back tablets.
Yes,
Because I'm
I will
pretty
do
sure
that.
you did. Okay. Yeah, you hold it up, and Dweelig sort of looks at himself. And he, his head sort of goes down for a moment. Oh, wow, he did really bad on that check. And he's like, how did that get there?
Oh, honey. Well, you know, it just happens sometimes.
Would Kane be down there at this point in time too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're at the table.
I guess whatever drink I have, I'm just sipping it like the Kermit the Frog thing.
By the way, I can't believe Dweelig honestly doesn't realize what happened, but I rolled a 3 and a 1. I gave him advantage because I thought it was an easy check, but no.
Colleen doesn't. They stayed with Kane. Yes.
You did say he got really hammered, so.
I mean, everyone else knows exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Which is great.
So he's like, I'd better go try to wipe this off. I have work today. He like takes a piece of bread with him and starts walking back towards the room.
So just for the record, like how good, I figure for like a disguise kit, whatever paint they have is like hard to like come off with just like water, because you want it to stay in case you like sweating things.
That's
So like, can you even get it off in one day like
That's
that?
an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's a disguise kit, you should probably be able to get it off.
Well, I'm sure there's like a remover in the kit, but like you don't want
Yeah,
this
there's
coming off
there's
from, like,
probably some
sweat
kind of a
things.
trick, but you wouldn't want it to be able to like be smudged or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like without the component I have in my disguise kit, he can't get this off.
Well,
This is a thing that I have actually never had come up in D&D before, which is incredible.
Dweelig probably has a disguise kit as a thief, but who knows?
He's not on his game today. He's off his game this morning, apparently.
All right.
Can you make a check to try to see if he gets this off? I don't want him to have a dick burst today. That's all I want.
You'll figure out momentarily.
All right, we're going to the shop later.
For now, he's sort of disappeared. So, anyways, let me see here. So, after Dweelig disappears, Kane Anya looks over at you and says, "You drew the dick on his face, right?"
No idea what you're talking about.
Right. Okay. I won't tell. If he can't figure that much out, then... well... I suppose there's his mark of shame.
Oh god. Alright. So what is everybody doing today? Did we actually have plans? I don't actually remember. There was a lot of booze yesterday.
How are you feeling this morning, Colleen? How are you feeling? On point? You know, just focused, lucid.
It's too early.
You think you'll be good for a stealth mission later?
Yeah, probably not.
If the stealth mission is me going to bed.
Kane just sips more of his drink. I'm just gonna say it's tea.
At this point, Anya says, "Well," she looks over at Fallon. "You and I had some kind of plans to head up to Capitol Hill and look in on your family, but there was also that matter that we turned over the other day about, well, whoever was behind those attacks."
Yeah, anybody want to go help him kill more whites or something?
I mean, sure. What's a white? Or would I
Vengeful
know what the
undead.
white is?
Rather more
Alright.
strong and intelligent than an average zombie, but
Can
nothing
I
that
pull
we
out
can't
my
handle.
remain? I didn't waste my white skull. I still have it.
Yeah, you do.
All right,
It's
let
not
me
like
pull
a
that
one-time
out.
use thing. It's not a
Let me
consumable.
pull out my white skull, and I'll be like, imagine this with some undead flesh on it, and they kind of look like that.
Can right now
And can I hold them up high and be like, and they're about this tall?
Can right now be when they're bringing my beer over?
So as you hold that up, you notice Dweelig start to walk back into the room and just sort of pause in the doorway. There was some low conversation happening that has now sort of stilled. I think the beer would have already been delivered, actually.
Damn.
Sorry. But the guy behind the counter does come up and say, "Sir, I think you're disturbing the customers."
Can I turn my head and the white head to him?
Yeah, sure.
Like, can I kind of rattle it around and be like, I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody. He's mostly subdued. But I go ahead and shuffle it back into my pack.
He looks at you and says, "You should be a ventriloquist," and then he walks away. And Dweelig makes his way back. Kane, you notice that the dick is still very much present.
I contain a turtle and just try and sip my key.
All right. You know what? Give me deception to try to contain yourself. Nope. I'm sorry.
I spit up tea like all over it.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you do. Let's see if Dweelig finally catches on.
I was gonna say, I slap Kane's back. Like,
Oh.
just like,
I'm
are you
choking on
dying
tea.
there?
Like, I'm choking on tea.
Finally, Dweelig's eyes narrow a little bit, and he looks over at you, Kane. And he's like,
I'm choking on tea. I can't talk.
I'm sensing I've been pranked, perhaps by the other person who is in my room.
It takes every ounce of my being to go, really?
Can
Like, not do
Fallon,
that.
can Fallon chime in?
Yeah, sure. Just go ahead.
I bet the son of a bitch was blue.
Probably put snow in your bed, too.
He, actually, you know what? As you say that, oh shit, he rolled a crit fail. As you make the suggestion about snow, you see him sort of pull open his shirt and look in. He's like, you see the gears click as he slowly realizes that he's not like wet or anything.
There's no snow here, really.
And he just sighs, and his head slowly hits the table, and he just remains with his forehead on the table for a very long time.
I'm just gonna kind of pat him on the back.
I look at Clean and I'm like, I like your friends, Clean.
Oh, he's wonderful, isn't he?
Yeah. First day we met him, he got super blitzed, then got his freaking face just covered in dicks and stuff, and is just now just on the verge of giving up life. He's not quite there yet, but I can tell he's getting closer all the time.
Just a regular Wednesday for Max's.
What?
Also, Braveshine makes a valid point. If we ever get into combat, like, we're not gonna see these terrible case rolls anymore. It's gonna be back to like nat 20s all over the place.
Finally, Dweelig speaks up and says, "From the amount of insight and understanding I'm showing right now, you'd think I was some spoiled rich brat. God, if I only had the money to back that up." His head comes back up, and he resignedly starts eating the rest of his breakfast, accepting that a dick on his face is his lot in life.
Were shots fired there? Just for the record, like out of character.
No,
I feel like shots are
I
found.
did not intend that. His body language
Okay.
indicate this is self-effacing.
I thought he was like getting a jab at Colleen.
I'll prestidigitate the dick off his face.
No!
Wait a minute. I have to remember.
You damn sorcerers.
If that wasn't a spell name, that would sound really weird.
I mean, it still sounds a little weird. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
You're gonna do
All
what?
right, that would count as cleaning.
Personal enough.
That being said, Colleen, can you make like whatever your spell attack roll would be? Make that.
You should just draw one on the other side so it matches.
Can I like try and interrupt Colleen from casting this spell?
Give me
You're not
perception.
I just really like the idea of like a bard just counter spelling to keep a dick on someone's face.
All right, you do sort of see her start to. Oh, actually, let me think. Oh, that's right. You don't need actually like a wand or anything. So you see Colleen just sort of start lifting her hand, and her mouth opens a little bit, and you recognize the telltale signs of her beginning to cast a spell. You don't know what the spell is.
T-face.
Key face? Is that what you said?
I have T. Her face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Colleen. Kane splashes tea against your face,
Fight.
disturbing you mildly. Are you going to finish your spell first, or are you going to react?
You stop that!
I'm gonna finish it, but then I'm gonna do what I just did with you.
Yeah. That's
know what?
fine.
Stop that right now. Enough with your evil sorcery.
Colleen continues muttering
I'm
and
drawing the line here.
spellcasting for a while as
This is too
Kane empties
far,
the tea
Colleen.
on her face. Colleen, you finish up your spellcasting by just wiping the tea away from yourself. And then you go back to eating your breakfast. The rest of you notice that the mark of the dick has been made on Kane's face now.
Oh, it's gonna be a good fucking day.
Colleen,
you don't want to.
Dweelig
You don't want to
smiles
start
at you a little bit.
You don't want to start this, Colleen. You don't.
Oh, Kane, you have no idea about this.
Okay, fine. I draw the line here, Colleen. You've gone too far.
Oh wait, actually,
Right?
you know
This
what?
is
You
just
know
some
what? I will
mild-mannered
see if
fun.
Dweelig can control himself. I'll even make this a public check.
Can
and I
anyone
will
else
even
contain
announce
themselves?
this is DC 10.
You had a party-wide check to
No!
contain themselves.
Okay, wait a minute, just a second. Kane, I'm gonna give you an insight check. You just have to beat Dweelig's deception. Nope.
You're actually joking. What is this game?
You had a party-wide check for Dweeling when you came down. All right,
No, there was not a
everyone
party-wide
should make
check.
this check.
I didn't make a check.
Maxis made the check.
Oh, he wanted to.
Yeah, only
That's why he
Maxis
made the
that
check.
So
He
Dweelig,
wanted it to happen.
so Dweelig does crack a little bit, like very, very low chuckle. Kane, you don't notice. So Kane has a dick on his face.
It's gonna be wonderful. We don't even know yet. As soon as Kane figures this out.
Alright. So you
I
eat
could
for a
not be
little
more
while
satisfied.
longer.
So what is this about? A white or something, or being able to kill things in the city? What's going on?
Anya speaks out. Fowlin and I ran across some folks accosting a woman the other night. There was a undead along with them. We, shall we say, interviewed one of the thugs after we subdued them. And he gave us a rough location of the person who sent them out. We were thinking about checking it out. It wouldn't hurt to have some backup.
So, Did you guys want to go do your stuff and then meet up tonight and then go take it out? It might be easier to do a dastardly mission at, like, dusk.
She shrugs. I don't think what we're doing here is particularly dastardly.
But it could be, and that is exciting.
She looks over at Fallon.
Did you kill him?
I'll just say.
Well, obviously he has its head.
Well, I mean, how much longer are we going to be in this town?
3
We're not
days,
quite
right?
sure. Tirsa said that she needed a few days to set her thing up, so you imagine you probably have at least today to yourselves.
Okay, so I'll say this then. I'll say, well, we probably researching the family would be better during the day, and then we can, help Maxis have his nighttime urges satisfied.
She looks over at Fallon. Anya looks over at you, Fallon, and says, "You might be on your own on that one, but sure, sounds like a plan."
And Fallon says, "That's not what I meant."
Says, "All right. Well then, let me pull up a map."
So it looks like it's just pointing at the dick for me.
All right. So
Just move the map.
So the neighborhood where you need to go is sort of like in this area. So Anya will mention like a tavern that she knows that's just a little bit to the east where you can meet up. And she'll say, meet around sundown.
Sounds good.
Maybe an hour before. Okay. So you make loose plans to do that, and as you're sort of finalizing these plans, I will say, Kane, you probably noticed this first, but others will notice as well. A familiar face comes through the front door. It is actually Toli.
Oh my god.
And she's like, "Oh, good, you are here. Morning, everyone." She smiles.
And
morning, Kane.
I take it the spell hasn't worn off yet?
Nope. Let's see how composed.
It lasts an hour.
I just rolled a 1 and a 2. She says, "Good morning, Kane," and then she smiles, and the smile immediately turns into just a snort. Like,
We had a bit of a night.
She looks around and is like, "So, who's the artist?"
Kane is.
I mean, honestly.
Doesn't Kane just have such great craftsmanship?
Alright, I catch on, man. Alright.
Give me insight. Yeah, you
give
catch
it the
on.
dice, take it away.
Is Kane smart enough to realize that this could have only been done, like, between when we just take it off?
This will be
It
probably
had to
low
be a
DC,
spell, okay.
but give me an Arcana check. Because you have to recognize the spell that Colleen was using and understand what uses it could be put to.
Dude, we cannot fight anything today. We'll all die.
Okay, so based on your insight check, you're of course instantly suspicious of Colleen because she's the only one who is really doing things who could potentially do something like that. But for the life of you, you have no idea what she could have done.
Oh, that's more than enough. Wait. Also, Casey, is this... For the record, this clear stone fluctuates in weight, right?
Yeah.
And it's still there? Did I see it in my inventory?
Yeah, you have not gotten rid of it or anything.
Because I keep forgetting about it. All right.
It's like
Is there a
that.
mirror anywhere? Like,
Colleen had one.
clean. Let me see your mirror.
I don't think so, Kane. I think you look just fine how you are.
All right. It was definitely clean. That's like all. I feel like that's enough. Like, it's enough for Kane.
Let me check Tully's inventory. Forget what I gave her. Oh, I forgot that I gave her that.
Give her what?
Tully looks at you and says, "Yeah, I think you're catching on. Do you want me to take care of that for you, Kane?"
Please.
She sits down next to Kane, takes out a brush, dabs it in something, and starts drawing on your face, Kane. And
She's drawing blue paint on my face. Or like something similar. Holy shit, it's blue paint. Or I guess whatever my skin tone counts as. Like sky blue? I don't know. I put light blue in my character sheet, so.
I'm not much of an artist, but pretend it's more convincing. She encases the dick in a peach.
So just cover it up. She like adds to it.
Is this a Call Me By Your Name reference?
So wait, hold on. Just so I'm clear, she doesn't actually just cover it up with blue paint. She adds to it, like, and makes it.
She added some peaches to my eggplant.
And she sits back and says, "All right, there. That should do it."
Her revenge will be great.
Let's see.
The rage inside of me.
I'm doing all right.
What are you What is she deceiving?
Laughing at you.
She just clearly made it worse and then said, "That should be all right."
I don't believe you.
You have disadvantage on insight checks against Tully, but you can make one.
That makes sense.
I love
She did
this.
get a low deception check. Okay. You
Even through these eyes.
so somewhere through all of the mental static, it comes through. She did not cover an area consistent with what you imagine Colleen did.
Where is the dick exactly?
On your left cheek.
Can I just like raise my cloak up to like cover the bottom half of my face?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I do.
And
I
as
do this while like glaring at Colleen. With like, I want to convey as much hatred as possible right now.
Oh gosh.
So for the record, I'm hereby renaming Kane to Elio.
I
Just for the
don't
record.
understand the joke there, but okay.
As you do that, Kane, Tully's like, looks at it, and she says, "Look, I don't have the right supplies for this. Do you have something in your room or something like that? I can take care of it for you, like remover or anything." You
I have a feeling it's not actually ink or anything. I say, looking at Colleen.
I give you a very sly and innocent wink.
I will destroy you.
Oh,
That wasn't a character. Well, he's thinking it. He doesn't say it.
well, just a second here. I used water base, and she wipes away what she drew.
I still leave the cloak up to cover the dick.
He's like, "Sorry."
I mean,
softy.
if we're
It's fine. You tried.
Anyways, I did come for something else, and she turns around and sort of faces the rest of the group. As much fun as the entertainment was. Maxis. She looks over at you. Tirsa asked me to deliver this to you. She reaches into her pack and pulls out a nice but generic looking brown bag. You asked for a bag of holding.
Sick. Yes.
All right. I've been asked to inform you that this one comes with a little something extra. If you put a bit of material from your body, a few hairs, a nail clipping, anything like that, you'll become linked to the bag, and that will enable you to dismiss it to a secure location on the astral plane, or to call it back. Simply by saying, and I saw the comment, and that's going to add a whole new layer of context to what I'm about to say. But you simply need to say go or come with intent, and that'll do the trick.
Okay, so what you're telling me is I put all my shit in this, and then, like, I don't know, fucking cut a finger, and then drip a drop of blood in there, and then it'll go.
Kane, take some hairs and put it in the bag.
Well, right now Maxis is holding the bag. You'd have to like wrestle it.
I'm quick and deft.
I will punch you in the face.
I'll use the blood to put it in the bag.
And
real though, hair bag trying.
So one other thing, unless the person who dismissed the bag dies or falls into a coma or something like that, the only one who can call it back is the person who dismissed it, even if other individuals are linked. Otherwise,
so more than one person can be linked to it?
So can we all? Yeah, can we all be linked in? Okay, that's pretty sick.
Never mind that.
All right.
Kane stops like mid attempt to like sneak a hair in there. It's like, oh, okay. Just kind of looks at Maxis like, I wasn't doing anything.
So, you're finally gonna not be encumbered by all the shenanigans that you have all the time there, Kane?
Finally. I have somewhere to put all of this money.
So we can shortcut this. So the bag can hold up to 200 pounds. And what I will say is this. Anything that people are putting into the bag, you can simply put parentheses bag, close parentheses, in front of the item name on your character sheet. Actually, is it necessary? It probably isn't. You can record the weight if you want to, like somewhere. Or actually, wait a minute. No, better yet, here's what you can do. If you want to put something in the bag, just move it. Keep track of it however you want. Okay, is what I'm going to say. But, like, keep it on your character sheet somehow, but just record that it's in the bag and you can deduct the weight. Like, you might use the treasure section on your bio, for instance, or something like that.
How do I do it with money? Just put the extra amount in treasure?
Yeah, you could do that. Just make sure you mark that it's like bag stuff.
We could just say that we put all the money in the bag, and then we could have like it doesn't
you know
matter.
what? Actually, has anybody started marking anything? Because I have an idea.
No.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to add a character called Bag of Holding. And it will be in all of your journals and editable and controllable by all of you. And you can just freely move stuff over to it. The only trick is that you can't go over 200 pounds. It's got a 200-pound limit.
How does the bag of hiding work? The same as a bag of holding, but smaller?
Basically. Wait, who am I missing? I've got Aaron. I'm missing Maxis. There we go.
So, do we want to designate someone to actually be in charge of this bag?
Me. Please. I'm always with the most members of the group. Like, you know.
No, remember that time you were in that prison cell?
And the time in the ice tower that you and Colleen were?
I feel like giving Kane a bag of holding in general is a bad idea.
Oh, sorry, just a second. I'm editing some stuff on the...
He's going to dump out all
I was
stuff
confused.
and put some
to our page.
crystal in it.
All right, stop moving. I'm still editing this. Sorry, just a sec. Let's
Well, okay, so who is always with like the group when we go shopping?
Okay, all right. Now you should all be able to see the bag of holding as a character, and I just recorded that it's a 200-pound limit. So you can just move stuff from your character sheet onto this at will.
You guys figured this out. I'm gonna go. Well, okay, you guys figure this out, and then out of character, I'm gonna go try and like talk to Thule like a few feet away. While they discuss.
So probably the easiest thing to do would be just when she goes, like she's talking to the group right now. In a few minutes, she'll probably leave, and you can just catch her on her way out. Basically, would probably be the easiest thing.
Basically, yes.
All right. So the other thing, I totally had one other errand with you all. Colleen, she says, I was asked to relay a message to you about your traveling companion that Tirsa had to hold on to for you for a while. Remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Right. So she thought that it might be awkward for you to get it back while you're in the city. I imagine that you'll meet up with her in a day or two, and you can get it back then if you like. But she did want to say if you wanted to take it back right away, you could.
Are we talking about Fabrizio or my zombie?
You have Fabrizio with you. She's talking about your skeleton.
I would like my skeleton. But only when we go white hunting. Or before white hunting.
Okay.
Whatever we're doing.
Let me think for a moment.
Fabrizio.
So you want it back later tonight, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I can try to arrange that. Never quite sure with Tirsa, and it does kind of have to be her. At least she has to have been there at some point to make it work. But what would be a good? She just whereabouts roughly would be good for you to meet up?
Well, where do we need to be?
Can you remind? Yeah. I was going to ask to be reminded where the place was. I know it was by church.
Yeah, so the place that you eventually want to go is there. Anya sort of suggested meeting there before heading over.
I'm good with that. Also, my skeleton might be wild at this point, so I don't think I cast Animate Dead yesterday.
That'll be correct. But if you restrain it somehow and then recast the spell.
She's just gonna bring my wild undead in like a cage and be like, hey, here you go.
Basically.
Whoops.
Okay. So she thinks for a moment about the location that you said, and says, "So what? You're all meeting up by there or something?"
Yeah, we're gonna hunt some zombies or something.
Okay. Just what? Probably half an hour before you meet up, she indicates a location, gives you an address. It's basically just a house. Just go to that address and I'll see if we can work something out. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, fantastic. She looks around at the rest of you and says, "Well, that's what I came here for. So, I guess I'll be headed back now, unless anyone needs me for anything."
I got that was mostly towards you, not like in character. I was like,
oh, okay.
I like.
And it doesn't make that noise.
I was picturing that being in character.
Come on, make a charisma check off that noise. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? To cover up for RP, I will see if Kane actually handled this more subtly. The performance. This is basically like a socialized role.
Which check? I didn't hear you.
Call it performance.
Casey, it looks like I can't get my zombie back with that spell.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Awkward as fuck.
It says to regain control, you have to cast it before 24 hours is up. And it's not a command undead, it's just...
Lol, you lost your zombie.
That's okay, I'll just go to the cemetery. There's gotta be one.
Holy shit. Don't actually... Like, think they get in trouble with that.
Well, actually, wait a minute. Hold on.
Take me with you.
It's currently morning. You got here in the afternoon before, and you cast the spell right before. So actually, what it is you've got a window of between now, which is probably like 10 a.m., and about 3 o'clock. So you've got about a 5-hour window to reassert control, actually.
Do I know where Tirsa is at all? Because I have to be within 10 feet of it to...
Yeah, no, but totally might.
You know, for sake of responsibility, I should probably take care of my zombie.
Right now, then?
I would say fuck it, but Colleen wouldn't let one of her creatures run loose.
Says, all right then. Let me think.
Is Shopkeeper Bro still hanging out?
Yeah, but they've been actually talking about it sort of sideways this entire time. They haven't directly said anything about a skeleton.
Okay.
Says, all right, the most straightforward way is if you come with me back to Capitol Hill, then.
I will definitely go back there.
Okay.
I'm gonna meet up with Tirsa.
All right, well, do you want to just do that now?
I'll go.
If she's going to where Tirsa is, I'm going to.
I'll very hungoverly go.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I guess sounds like you're all meeting back later tonight, so I'll head off with these two, and good luck, everybody. Enjoy your time, I suppose.
You know what? I'll actually go too. I have something to talk to Kane about, if that's all right with you all.
Huh?
Fine by me.
Talk to me about.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, you'll all sort of finish up your stuff. I'll say that there's sort of a moment where everybody's like, maybe headed back to their rooms, gathering up their things. Kane, you find a private moment with Tully.
With a dick on your face.
I have my cloak covering the bottom half of my face.
Yeah, but she said she was going to clean it off for you.
But she can't because it's magic.
I thought it just transferred the stuff over from his face.
I don't know.
I cast the spell
DM?
twice.
I don't
Wonder,
know.
remove
I don't
it,
think
wonder.
Kane. I think that would break Kane. Like if that happened, I think Kane just wouldn't know how to respond to that.
All right. So what did you want to say, Kane?
I wanted to set up a meeting. I mean, if we're going to meet Tirsa, I just wanted to talk to Tirsa. I was going to have her send a message to Tirsa for me.
Oh,
But since
okay.
we're going to Tirsa anyway, I'll just tag along.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I was gonna drop the spell, but I forgot. So.
Well, you
Whoops.
remembered now, so you can totally drop it now if you want.
Say it, play it.
But now we're going to Tirsa, which makes it an escalation of funny.
All right. Okay, so you all sort of gather up your things. So I guess, Fallon, you're probably going... Oh, Colleen, in all of this, you had those 4 documents for letting people into Capitol Hill. Would you have given one to Fallon and Anya? Oh, wait, actually, no. It doesn't actually matter. Never mind, I'm going to skip it. Okay. All right, so... Yeah, you didn't say it, so it didn't happen. All right.
That's fair.
So we've got one group headed with Tully. We've got Fallon and Anya doing their thing. And with this, let's actually go back to Ernan. So Ernan, you finish up a fantastic breakfast with Moira. She sighs and leans back contentedly and says, I'm gonna hate myself for that later, but that was fantastic.
I'm going to kind of collapse backward on the bed as well.
Alright.
And be like,
She says, so, she sort of glances back at you. You got anything else to show me, or is it finally my turn?
I mean, I'm down to do a rerun of what we saw last night.
Give me persuasion.
Wow, that's in that one.
She
Curse you, dice.
she give me insight.
13.
All right, I need to check something. Okay. She didn't quite come out as smoothly as you wanted. You kind of stammered it a little bit, and you just barely detect she sort of winces slightly, but tries to plaster over a smile real quick to cover it up because, as it turns out, she did really enjoy the time. She says, "Oh, maybe some other time. But thanks. Last night was great."
That it was.
Seriously though, I've got a little secret I stumbled on in the city, and I haven't had time to show anyone yet. Want to come along?
Sounds like fun.
All right.
Are there drinks?
Wait, what'd you say?
Are there drinks?
Probably not, actually. It's more of.
Well, we'll just have to make sure you bring her around.
I like the way you think.
We'll just read the kitchen.
Yep. So the two of you sort of stock up for a trip. She does sort of indicate that this might be along the lines of like, shall we say, you might be going somewhere off the beaten path. So you stock up as you normally would to like go on the road, except for the fact that you carry with you a flask each and a tankard each. With a top on it.
Obviously.
So, all right. So you head out. Again, she sort of puts up a cloak. And is that you, Maxis, by the way? I'm hearing somebody like breathing really loud.
Maybe. Hold on. Let me turn this down.
All right. Sorry, I gotta find my thing. All right, there we go. So Moira takes you just a little bit sort of southwest of where you're at. Finally, she turns down a back alley and stoops down in front of a sewer grate. And she says, "Can you help me with this?"
Sure.
The two of you slide it aside. There's some ladder rungs that go down. She says, "Pull it over the street after you come in. Don't worry, it's loose. Obviously."
Okay. I follow her down.
All right.
Is it dark?
There's very dim light from like very occasional sconces, but she does, as you hit the bottom, let me see here real quick. She's going to do this. She pulls out a wand, waves it, and mutters something under her breath. and 4 small violet lights appear around her, and she sort of sends them off in different directions, illuminating your path.
Well, way to steal my thunder, but okay. That works too.
So you head through the sewer a little bit. It smells bad, but not half as bad as you feared. And at least you don't have to wade through shit. There's like a little ledge that runs alongside it. At last, she guides you to a rusty iron door that she sort of yanks open, and it leads into what looks like an earthen tunnel. She sends a light down, and you can actually see the end of the tunnel. There are some abandoned tunnels in these sewers that they never finished. Turns out that they would have found something interesting if they'd gone about 20 feet further. Of course, I cleaned up after myself when I found this, so I'll have to clear it out again. So happy to have a friend with me to explore this time. She waves her hands again, and she's going to do this. And start excavating the tunnel. Takes about half a minute, but she sort of piles the earth to the side of the tunnels, and finally you do see an exit into a cave. She crawls in. You hear her shoes touch on stone. You hear just a little bit of a clack when that happens. She looks back at you and says, "Coming?"
I follow.
Say with intent.
With intent, everybody. All right. And the two of you head back that way. Actually, you know what? Let's go a little bit further. So you're walking through a nondescript cave that gradually slopes downward. It's fairly large, actually, probably about 30 feet wide, and the roof above you is maybe 8 feet tall. Maxis would have to stoop over, but it's plenty comfortable for you. And she says, "So, I don't know that anybody knows there's an entire cave complex under Citadel, but here we are."
Here we are. So now what?
I don't know. Just walk back. I didn't go very far last time, and I figure before I get locked away forever, I might as well see what's at the back of this thing, right?
Sure, why not? Let's go see what's at the back of it.
You walk back for a ways. After, you sort of partake a little bit as you walk. Just sort of make
As you
small
do, yeah.
After a few miles, the ground becomes, well, there are little puddles of water all over it, and you have to walk carefully to avoid your feet getting wet. And it finally, the thought starts nagging at the back of your mind, like, are we maybe, like, does Maya really know what she's getting into? But, as you start to consider that, your thoughts are interrupted by an unexpected sight. A surprised-looking, gap-toothed, gray-skinned gnome is looking up at you.
Do I know who this gnome is?
You do not recognize the gnome. If you would like to know how certain you are about not recognizing the gnome, I guess you can give me just like a...
like a perception?
I don't even care. You don't recognize the gnome. You know,
14 perception.
Okay, sure. You definitely, this isn't anyone you know. As a matter of fact, you know what? Give me nature, actually.
That's an 8.
It's an 8? Okay. You remember something about there being different kinds of gnomes? This one looks different than the ones that live on the surface. That's all you remember. But
Is he reacting to us in any way?
Yeah. She tenses. Her hand instinctively sort of moves down towards her side.
I wave and say hi.
Okay. She looks up. She says something in a... Well, do you speak Undercommon?
I speak Common, Elven, Gnomish, and Halfling.
Okay. So she says something that you don't understand. And then she stops and tries again. And this time you recognize it. It's pronounced a little weird. You think it might be a dialect or something, but it's recognizably Gnomish. And what she asks is, "Who are you?"
Well, I'm Aaron, and this your place or what?
She
We're just
says,
exploring.
"My name is Balara." I'll go ahead and give you the spelling.
How do you do? This is Myra.
She says, "Are you from around these parts?"
I'm just visiting. She is. We're having a lovely day. Want a drink?
She looks inquisitively and says, "Maybe later." She looks over at Moira. "You're from around here? There are humans around here?" And Moira looks at her for a moment. And actually, let me do her... Oh, shit. All right. Moira says, "Where do you live?" And Balara sort of turns and points back down the tunnel. "Skrital, further down that way. Deeper, significantly deeper than where we're at now." Moira says,
Cool.
"How far does this cave go?" Balara says, "This cave? Not too much further. Maybe another mile. Then a tunnel. And then the rest of the Underdark." Moira says, "Oh." She turns to you, Aaron, and says, "Did you know there was an Underdark here?"
Did I?
I'm trying to remember. Rest of the group, would you have told him generically the things that have been happening over the last few months? Would you have ever told Aaron about this? Like that you went underground?
I mean, I mentioned it, and then we talked about what I knew for a while. He might have been listening to that.
Well, you didn't go underground though, did you?
No, but
I was thinking of the rest of the group.
Yeah, but the dude told me about
Oh, Johan. Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right. So, Aaron, I will say you've got some idea that other folks who were in the party before you were actually traveled fairly extensively underground, although you haven't.
Okay.
Do you say any of this?
No.
Okay. So Moira just sort of stares at you for a moment. Finally, her eyebrows sort of crinkle. She looks back at Balara and says, "My companion has gone unexpectedly silent, but I honestly didn't know there was so much down here." Balara says, "Oh, so this does lead to the surface. I thought it was coming a lot higher up, but I didn't realize. Anyways, what brings you to explore down this way? Do you intend to head all the way to Skrital or somewhere else?"
What's the Skrital?
"City of the Swift Neblin."
I don't think that was the plan. Was that the plan?
Moira says, I was just seeing what there was to be seen.
I was just following her.
So what you're telling me is that, and this is Balara speaking, that you saw a cave, so you just started walking in it.
Yes?
You realize that's a nice way to get yourself killed down here, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Gosh, good thing you ran into me. She sort of thinks for a moment. Well, do you intend to go further, or do you want to head back home?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Are you asking Moira? All right. Give me insight.
That's a 15.
Okay. Moira says, I should probably get back. And as you look at her expression, the abject disappointment in her eyes says, I should really get back. But this sounds like more fun.
This sounds like what? You cut out at the end.
But this sounds like a lot more fun. Her eyes are saying she wants to go. Her words are saying she should probably get back.
I know some guys that we could drag down here with us. That way, just in case things get sketchy, we'd be okay.
I know some dudes.
She thinks.
I know a guy. A guy to the
So what
Underdark.
you're telling me is that I could continue to duck my family and my guards for an entire extra day and explore a brave new world.
I mean, I'm like 80% sure one of them knows how to do a disguise, so yes.
Interesting. She looks back at Balara and says, I don't imagine that you're any kind of vacation guide here, so I also imagine that if we were to keep going forward, it would be helpful to know someone. Do you have any reason to help us? Balara thinks for a moment and says, to be honest, and actually she looks at the two of you, I do. It wouldn't be good for you to go bumbling randomly into Skrital. It would, well, raise a furor. But there is a situation of sorts that you might be able to help me out with, and at any rate, if we've got, sounds like an entire city above us.
Yeah, pretty good size city.
That's worth knowing about. I certainly wouldn't mind, at the very least, swapping some stories, and maybe seeing if there's something we could do to help each other.
Insight. That's a 13.
13. She seems uncertain, but sincere.
She doesn't seem like she's some kind of forward scout that wants to take over the entire city and burn it down.
So, just looking at her, she kind of has the look of a beat-up old woman. Like, kind of, like life maybe not has been hard on her, but, like, she's been through a lot. Like, she seems like somebody's, like tough grandma or something like that. The read that you get off of her is that she's thinking that there's something either for her family or for her people or something like that, where at least exchanging information with the two of you and would be a good thing.
Okay. Sure.
She says, all right, well, if I'm going to bring you down, then I should bring you down. So how about, she thinks for a moment. And actually, let me think for a moment. How long do you think you need to gather up your group? Later today? Should it be tomorrow?
I don't know. I haven't seen them in a couple days. Depends on how hungover they are.
Right. Well, I know less about them than you do. So, she says, I'll meet you back at this spot. Just tell me how many hours.
What time is it right now?
Right now, it'll be about 11, maybe... let me think. The amount of time that it took. Maybe about noon, actually.
How long do you is this like a big enough city where it's going to be actually a pain in the butt to find them all, or is it actually reasonable I can find them? Okay. Let's call it tomorrow morning then, first thing.
Okay, so she does some. You see the gnome thinking for.
Call it 18 hours. No, not 18. 18.
So 6 in the morning.
Yes.
She says, all right, I'll be here. This exact spot, all right? My name's Balara Striken.
Nice to meet you.
Moira, this is Moira Steeltree. Pleasure. She looks over at you, Aranin, and says, so what you're telling me is that, and she's speaking in common this time, or actually, no, you know what, no, this she'll continue in, she actually will speak in Gnomish as well. So what you're telling me is that I've got another day to get in even more trouble.
Yeah.
Alright. Once halfway in, may as well continue to the end.
Of course.
And she turns around and gives sort of a... And actually, let me think. She gives like a bit of a curtsy and says, pleasure to meet you, Balara. I think we'll be on our way. Balara nods and says, right. See ya. And the two of you turn and start heading back.
Cool.
We are going to jump to... you know what? Let's jump to Maxis, Colleen, and Kane. So Tolly guides you through the city. Anyone looking to have any particular conversation with Tolly before you reach your destination?
Well, actually, while we're walking, I'm
Okay.
going to
BRB.
probably...
She's sort of going to go this way. Go
Oh,
ahead.
well, never mind. Kane's literally leaving, so I cannot talk to Kane while having this walk. But
You know what? I'll just jump over to Fallon and Anya instead. That's totally fine.
that's fine.
All right. All right. So Fallon, you and Anya sort of finish getting ready for the day. As you're about to leave the inn, Anya sort of looks over and says, so, do you know anything about where to find your family, or just gonna walk towards the capital and start waving your papers around?
I mean, I've got some papers I found, and they have a house symbol on them.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask for directions there or to the capital. Is it here? Was it here? That house, if there was one, would be?
Where were you? indicating?
I'm just saying, like, didn't my pedigree papers or whatever have like this house symbol of
They did.
Fenris on it? I don't know if that's still a thing or if it died.
It's true. I mean, the papers indicate relatives who could theoretically still be alive.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of fuzzy on where I was supposed to find them. Like, would it be here?
I don't see where you're indicating. Like if
I'm
you're
not
doing some kind of
indicating anything.
Oh.
I just mean, like,
Oh, it'd
would
be
it
in
be?
Citadel most likely. So like the central government is like in this area. So
So yeah, I guess my plan would be to kind of go there and like ask around.
okay. She shrugs and says, "All right, just making sure you didn't know anything. You didn't know anything that I didn't." And the two of you start heading this way. You get to the gate of the Capitol and see a similar group of guards to what Glean and Kane ran into on their first trip. And the guard sort of steps up a little bit as the two of you approach. Says, "Welcome, welcome. What's your purpose, and can I see your papers?"
I look at him and exactly what papers do you mean?
He shrugs. "There are several documents that allow entry to Capitol Hill. Just doing my job."
I guess I show him my pedigree papers and tell him we're trying to find.
Didn't we give you papers
Man.
that were signed by what's your face at the fencing?
That didn't actually happen, but it's fine. So.
Oh, do we still just have them?
Yeah, Colleen has them. So Fallon, you show him your papers and say what?
Trying to find my folks.
He looks down. Let me see if he recognizes that. Okay. And he says, "All right, looks official enough. Go ahead on through."
I offer a high five as I pass by.
Give me persuasion.
Nailed it.
You are left hanging.
You really can't fight today.
And as you walk through the gate with your hand still in the air, Anya reaches over and deliberately sort of high fives you and gives you sort of a smile of condolence.
And then Fallon says, I thought it was a human thing.
You don't know until you try. Apparently he's not human, right? It's clearly, she looks back, an owlbear. That one's definitely an owlbear.
With no manners.
Exactly. Gosh, where do they even get the guards these days?
So mean. Every owlbear is offended.
All right, so do you have any particular part of town in mind, or do you just... Yeah.
I guess, oh crap, I guess just to the, you said Capitol Hill or?
All right. Go ahead and give me, what do we want to call this? So we're trying to like...
Survival?
No, so you're like trying to recognize sort of a good place to go looking into this. This is kind of a strained usage once again, but actually, no, that'll be good. Give me investigation.
Okay, I'm working on it. There it is. Damn it.
All right, let me think for a sec.
Make Anya roll.
Let's see. Would he
Okay,
have an
that's
advantage
fair.
for Anya helping?
She'd be helping. Well, no, but she can make
Well,
a
let's
check.
find out if she'll be helping.
She'll be trying to help. So
Can
the
we
two
ask?
of you... Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, can we ask somebody?
You could. Okay, so the two of you sort of get to the Capital District. You see lots of official-looking buildings and people walking by like they know where they're going, and you're just each sort of standing there trying to figure out what's what. You can totally try to stop someone. Give me a call it insight check because there are people all around, but you're trying to identify a good person to stop. And I'll let Anya help with that too. Let's go with whoever gets the higher. Okay. So we'll go with you. You identify about a 12-year-old boy who looks like he's running a message of some kind, and you flag him down real quick. He looks impatient, but also kind of like he's like his training is, just saying, oh, you're supposed to help people. So he sort of stops and looks up at you nervously and says, sir, what can I do for you?
I almost want to go down the road of the whole Ebenezer Scrooge, boy, what day is it? Why it's Christmas Day. No, if a man was trying to find some link to some family history, where might he go?
He thinks for a moment, and he says, right, up to the corner, 2 more blocks north, turn right, head east for another 2, look on your left, you'll see an archive. I'm sure there's someone there who can help you out.
Thanks.
Right, and he turns around and trots away.
I guess we follow the directions.
Yep, Anya shrugs. The 2 of you walk there. The building it's just sort of a large, sort of square-looking granite building. It's 1 story, but then it has sort of like a domed top on it that looks large enough to potentially hold a 2nd floor. You walk in, and there's an older woman at the desk who looks up as you come in. She says, right, can I help you?
And I produce my scroll of pedigree and say, yeah, I'm trying to find some family members.
Oh, well, you've probably come to the right place then. Would you like me to take a look and help out or something?
Please.
Okay. She takes a look at it. And you see an eyebrow go up and says, do you know who you're looking for? I mean, exactly. You're just generally looking for family.
Yeah. In mostly.
Interesting. I don't know how a relative of Commander Arden Fenris wouldn't know his relation. At any rate, I can give you directions to where I'm pretty sure you could find him. I mean, so long as he's not away, which he very well might be on these days. She reaches to her side and pulls out a piece of parchment that has a map of the entire capital area. She takes a quill and draws a little X on it and says, right, so you're here right now. If you head, and she sort of draws a path on it leading to a point about here. That's and says, that's HQ. I don't know if they'll let you in, but you've got as good a chance as anyone with that. Just go there and ask if you can see Commander Fenris.
What's his name?
She,
Because you're saying commander, right?
yeah. She points to the parchment at the name that you had noticed before would be marked in the place of basically your father's brother, so your uncle. Arden?
Oh, right. And so I guess I say thanks, and I guess I say, what should I tell him to get through?
She looks at you, looks at the paper, and says, I suppose tell him that his nephew is here to see him?
And I say, thanks. Sorry for being weird, raised by orcs, and I walk away.
You hear the silence as you walk away. All right. And as you walk away, Anya says, "Can I see that, Felon?" And she gestures towards your paper.
Yeah, I hand it to her.
She says, actually, let me see here. Huh. To think that Commander.
What? Which do you
I
guess
wonder
what
if
it is?
she means Supreme Commander. I mean, that would be the person in charge of the entire army.
Old Uncle Arden.
Right. You do have the most interesting family, Fallon.
So far.
The two of you walk that way. All right, we'll jump back to the other group at this point. So you're walking with Tully sort of towards the Capitol wall. I believe Maxis was going to say something.
Yeah, so while we're walking up, I'm just going to...
You're really quiet, by the way. Maybe it's just your mic position?
Maybe? Is that any better?
It's still kind of quiet. I can adjust your volume over here, I suppose.
Say, I think I can do. But so basically, while we're walking, I am just gonna address Kane, I guess, and be like, "So, Kane, we a while back both wanted the Amulet of Foresight, and
Correct.
then somebody, and I look at Colleen, took the damn thing."
You want me to kill her?
Well, probably. That's maybe a little...
Are you guys attempting to conceal this conversation from the other people that you're walking with?
Oh,
Or
no,
just
no.
having it openly?
Oh. Well, the killing her part was concealed. Kane is like this, by the way.
I mean, you are audible. So
Visual aid
if
for
you can't
Kane.
fix it now,
I
that's
just
fine.
say, unfortunately, I don't know if I can. I mean, I'll try to figure it out. But regardless,
This is the visual aid for what Kane looks like right now.
I forgot about the dick. This is gonna make this so much weirder. All right.
Don't
Well,
ever forget about the
basically,
dick.
besides the fact that it was a very powerful artifact that also felt really creepy and kind of made me feel like it was trying to take over my body and use me as a puppet. Besides that, there was also the fact that it belonged to my ancestor that was really important to me. And you actually got another amulet in the Ice Palace that also belonged to my ancestor, which, if you would read the notes that I have from his journal and all that stuff.
I don't read.
Well, some of us read can read, but regardless of that, it was the.
I can read.
The
I just choose not to.
The stone that you have was also very important to him. So, what would you want to trade for that?
Now, when you say ancestor, do you mean like direct relative, or just he was also a Goliath?
He is just he was the leader of my people when our people came. As far as I know, I have no direct relation.
So you want me to give you my amulet?
Well, yes, but also I am saying that I would give you something in return. Whether that be, I don't know, the favor in the future, or sometime I might pick up loot that you're interested in down the line, and I would give you first crack at it, or the next time you put snow in Fallon's sleeping bag, I'll just go ahead and take credit for it. You know, favors.
Maxis.
Yeah.
All right, actually, let me just pause this scene and establish something. I'm pretty sure Colleen has the Amulet of Foresight.
No, Fallon has it.
I have it.
Oh, Fallon has it, right.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. I have it.
Okay.
I was saying, I'm not offering that.
Oh,
That way.
I thought that's what was happening. All right.
I thought you were trying to get it.
Yep. Go ahead on back. All right, back as you were.
Yeah. I'm talking about stuff that we might find in the future.
Got it. Okay, so go ahead. So,
What if I can get you the other one too? Would that be like extra favor? Like 2 favors?
Wait, what other one?
The other amulet.
The Amulet of Foresight? No, that thing was a little weird. And on reviewing my ancestors' notes, or the Cliffbreaker's notes, he also thought that it was weird and should be used sparingly. So, between that and all the warnings that we've got to stay away from it, like, probably left out of our reach for the time being. I mean, if we down the road need like a Hail Mary and just like we're about to be eaten by demons, that might be a road to cross at that point, but right now it'll probably be fine. Right, I'm just mainly interested in the pink one for right now. Damn.
You know what? Sure, I'll take a favor from you for later.
Sweet. Alright. And?
Can I get a small minor favor though? Like it.
Alright. One favor to be named in the future and one minor favor now. Good?
Yes. Get back. And I whisper this part. Help me get back clean.
Oh, for the whole dick thing?
Yes.
I mean,
I say tugging the hood back up to keep covering her face.
Sure, I'm down.
Cool.
Colleen, were you trying to listen to any of that?
I made a note that I whispered the last part.
I know. That's noted in the difficulty.
Let's see if I probably noticed a little.
No, that's a 9. Alright. Yeah. Okay.
I'm removing pink amulet from my inventory since I'm giving it to Maxis.
Yep, sounds good. Just make that transfer happen. Alright, so, and actually everybody, even the folks who aren't immediately in the scene, can you please make me a perception check?
How much did that weigh?
Like 0.1, I think.
That sounds right. Aaron, Fallon, perception.
Oh, I thought you said everybody in the scene.
No, I said even people who aren't in this scene.
Okay.
Oh, I heard that completely wrong.
Same. That's a 10.
For once.
Okay.
Maybe we won't die in our inevitable fight tonight, guys.
Okay. So,
Hold on.
So, Kane and Maxis, you noticed this, and Fallon, while you were walking with Anya, you noticed this as well. There were already some, like, shuttered shops and stuff when you were here before. The atmosphere in the city is noticeably different today. You see more soldiers out looking soldiery, like this is more than the usual amount of town guard. And some of the places that you would have expected to be open by now are remaining closed. You might have also noticed one or two wagons leaving town. So there appears to be, short leap of logic. There seems like word is getting out about something being soon to go down. So some people are getting out of Dodge.
Is it just me, or does this place look a lot more dour today? Did we drink all the booze?
Yes, you drink all the booze.
Oh, my damn self.
Why is the rum always gone?
Damn it, past Maxis. Why are you always fucking me over?
So, Tully leads you sort of through
The past is behind you.
Through this business district to a place sort of near the border into Capital East. Fairly nondescript looking house. She walks up to it, gives a couple short knocks, sort of a moment later, the door is opened, and she sort of waves for you to follow her inside. Presuming that you all follow, as you come inside, there is, there's a blonde-haired man, fairly tall, maybe like 6'3", strong-looking, not like super burly, but strong-looking. He's got sharp blue eyes, little bit hawkish, a little bit of a widow's peak as well. Looks at you all and says, "You Tully?" Tully nods and says, "All right, Tirsa was by earlier. She left, something interesting. I imagine one of you needs to come tend to this." He raises an eyebrow and looks at the rest of you.
Yep, it's mine. I'll take care of it. What are we talking about?
If you're asking what I'm talking about, then you probably aren't the one. He looks at the other two, looks you up and down, Colleen, and says, "Betting it's you. Follow me back."
Alright.
Alright, so he leads you around a corner, and opens a door. You come back, and there is basically just a steel cage that has an orc skeleton in it.
I guess I will attempt to repossess my property.
Yep. So you just need to spend Animate Dead. You don't need to reuse the ability for this. But he sort of disappears back into the hallway as you cast the spell. So the rest of you, so Maxis and Kane, you're standing with Tully in sort of a living room at the front of this house, asking or doing anything in particular while that's going on.
Where's Tirsa at you?
Tilly says, she's dealing with things. She thinks for a moment. I think she's setting up a job for you.
I kind of whisper this. It's like, I was looking. Do you think she has a second one of those bags? We could get one.
What do you want with another one?
I want a personal one.
She looks at you and says, my impression is that the magic on the one that she gave you isn't dime a dozen. You'd probably pick up a normal bag of holding somewhere. They don't, I mean, they're expensive, but they don't cost that much. I don't have one on me.
So, like, she doesn't have one, or it'd be expensive to get it from her? But I have stuff to trade.
Well, I'm not really the person to broker that. She thinks for a moment. You could talk to Gunnar when he comes back. He's the one who just went back with Colleen.
Okay, sure.
So what kind of job is she looking to set up for the group or for Kane? And
no, I think for all of you. She hasn't been letting me in on much. Maybe just, I assume it's a need-to-know thing. But I think she has something in mind that'll help out with this whole demon situation.
I mean, yeah, we probably do need to deal with that at some point. Like, as soon as possible.
Right.
Which, you guys are probably more familiar and have more contacts in the city. Do you know anything about what's going on outside the city? I mean, everybody seems a little skittish. Today, more so than you just, like, normal run-of-the-mill city skittish people.
Right. No, there's some news. Not that anyone didn't expect it to happen, but they've pretty much overrun Westeros at this point.
Hallelujah.
You know something of that place? That
sucks.
city here.
It blows. We're just saying something coming from me.
She smiles
That was
weakly
it.
and says,
That
"It was
airs
never
nothing.
very high on my list of places to visit, I'll admit."
You've been there before?
No, I'm just saying that when I thought of all the places that I wanted to see, that didn't exactly make the list. I think it's just farms there, right?
Yeah, it blows. Pun fully intended.
Unfortunately, though, that probably, doesn't that provide, almost all the crops and food for the city?
Well, luckily, Emmeline is the breadbasket. I mean, Westeros provided some, and it's going to hurt, especially for the people who were there. And now we've got an entire army just about 60 miles away. They'll probably, depending on how fast they move, it might just be a couple days at this point.
Would I know if there is a regiment of my kin city? This is the capital of Anangrun, right?
No, it's not the capital of Anangrun. That would be more Siren, which has already been overrun. That's where the central council was.
They somehow teleported into the city.
Somehow they got there.
Weird.
It's
so weird how they got there,
How could that have happened?
The mystery.
Anyways,
That will never be solved.
So Citadel is the capital of the human territory, so think of it like a state or province capital. So similarly, Baj would be the capital of the Goliath territory.
So probably not. Alright.
Yeah, I mean, there would be Goliaths in Citadel just because it's a big city and reasonably cosmopolitan. But,
right.
I mean, and, the armies have been coordinating somewhat these days, so you would potentially expect some movement in response to that.
AKC.
Mm-hmm.
I sold the ruby to Ethna, right?
Yep.
And she hasn't said anything about it ever, right?
Nope. I mean, you've only talked a couple times, but nope.
Didn't give any hints that she knew how the demon army got there?
Anyways,
May have to kill ethnic cleansing.
all right. So around this point, Colleen, you finish reasserting control over the skeleton. The man behind you sort of says, "All right, glad to get that taken care of. You thought through what you're gonna do with it now?"
Well, not really, but rather have it with me than running about.
He sort of squints and looks at you and says, "Are you planning on going back outside?"
Well, of course, I can't stay here.
You know that normal folk don't take too well to necromancy, and there are soldiers on every corner almost at this point. A bit of an exaggeration, but still.
We will not help protect your skeleton from soldiers if they attack it.
I mean, it's just an orc. There are plenty of orcs in the city.
Except this one
Not
doesn't have skin.
Really. He sighs
It's a skeleton, right?
and says, "Oh, dear God, the wizard hasn't thought this through." Thinks for a moment, and he says, he waves his hand and says, "All right. Well, you've got it now, so may as well let it out of the cage." He produces a key. The door swings open, and he gestures, says, "All right. Well, let's go back out and meet your friends, I suppose."
All right.
All right. So, what?
I guess as it comes to the door, can I just be like, we're not taking that outside, are we?
Well, okay. So the three of them come back into the living room. The man says, "All right. Well, that's taken care of. Anything else I can do for you?"
I kind of take him aside a little bit and whisper, "It's like, do you think does Tears have another one of those bags, those like kind of hidey hole bag of holdings they can send away into a pocket dimension? Does she have another one of those, or able to get another one of those?"
As you say that, Kane, give me insight. All right, so you're talking to this guy, and behind his back is Tully, and as soon as you start mentioning the properties of the bag, you see her eyebrows shoot up and a very alarmed expression come over his face. Meanwhile, the man that you're speaking to seems kind of interested in what you're talking about.
She said this was the guy, right, that talked to you about that?
Well, you were... No, she just mentioned that you could go out in the city and like try to buy a bag of holding.
No, I asked if you said this when the guy gets back, he'd be the one to talk to about brokering a deal.
Oh, you know what? Okay, if you want to do
That's
this,
why I'm talking about it.
if you want to do this differently, you would have had like 10 minutes to talk. So let me give you a little bit more information, and if you want to change
Okay.
it, I'll allow that. The little bit more information is that she would say he probably would not have one of the special ones, but if you wanted to talk to him about a normal bag of holding, then maybe.
Okay. So, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. Like, basically, that bag is like a Tirsa special. So are you trying to have this conversation at all then, or?
Well, no. I guess just ask him, like, what do you think Tirsa will be back?
Okay. He says, I don't know. She may not come by here at all. She normally just gives directions, but she obviously had to drop off a package this time.
Do you know where I could find her?
Your guess is as good as mine.
That's what I figured. Okay. Shouldn't that be in a cage?
Well, your friend's controlling it now, right? So everything's fine. And he smiles a bit.
Is it a skeleton or a zombie cage? I forget.
It is a skeleton. It's an orc skeleton.
So I can't even, like, make up it to, like, look half decent. Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe.
See, that needs to be in a cage. Clean.
I mean, I had to get here somehow. I don't know how she would have walked it here.
Probably at night.
Tully says she used a demiplane spell.
Or that. Do you have a demi-plane spell, Colleen?
Nope.
Is it nighttime, Colleen?
Well,
Maybe if
If
you
you
got
I mean, if
a
you wanna take
full
it.
body cloak for it, this is Tully talking, and kept the hood down, then maybe. But
What if-
don't.
What
As
if
long
we
as you
did
don't
that,
go to
but,
polite
like,
society with it, maybe just walk it back to the inn. That might work.
would you guys have like a helmet to go also on the cloak? Like
how
that.
about a cloak and a mask?
Or yeah, just like
At this, Gunner, the man sort of smiles a little bit and says, I think I could work up something for you for a small charge.
I mean, we're in
I
this.
sort of roll my eyes, charge, but I listen, waiting.
Mere 10 gold gets you a full cloak that'll fit the thing nice. Also a mask that, if nobody looks too close at it, should hold up just fine.
What about 9 gold and 2 copper pieces?
He waves his hand.
Okay,
We drive a
Aang.
hard bargain.
I mean, it is also going to be walking next to me and Kane, and I'm gigantic and he's blue. I mean, it might.
I was gonna
draw
say I
less
could just
attention than you
prestidigitate it,
think.
make it a fun color. But the cloak and mask is probably a better idea.
Yeah.
I'm thinking prestidigitate the whole skeleton, though.
Yeah, that would take a while. I don't know the last time.
Anyways, he's not wrong. The rest of you will honestly be more eye-catching once we're done with this. Give me a second, I'll see what I can rustle up. And he disappears. A few minutes later, comes back with sort of a large dark green cloak, actually rather nicely made. It's some kind of velvet or some other like heavy fabric. Drapes it over and ties it in a few places to secure it. Then he takes just sort of like a white, almost like a theater mask. And you can see he's quickly just stitched it into the top of the hood so that it sort of falls down over the face of it. When you put it over the skeleton, you step back, look at it. You know, if anybody looks super close, it's very suspicious, but not immediately undead. Just like sort of like, that's kind of a creepy dude. is what you get off of it, but you might not get stopped in the street at this point.
The only problem we're going to run into probably now is that if there's anyone that has any kind of divine sensitivity whatsoever, they're going to know it's the dead creature.
Actually, oh yeah, there is the paladin thing. They have to be within 60 feet for that, though. And I don't actually think clerics have such an ability in 5e.
I don't think so. I think they just have to turn on.
But they also have to actively use the spell to find.
Yeah, they would have to.
Right. So like your only danger in terms of like people's abilities is that
So witch hunter.
yeah, basically a paladin or something like that would actually use their ability to try to like sense undead.
Other
around
paladins on the white case.
I
them.
mean, there
Whoops.
are also like demons coming though.
Yeah, they have to be within 60 feet. You should be fine.
It's fine. Everything will be fine.
So like, okay, so I'm gonna just give this whole a once over and check like all the knots and everything, like this to make sure this thing stays on.
Okay. Give me, I guess, sleight of hand for how effectively you manage that.
Would that not be a disguise thing?
I suppose it could have been. Whatever, that's fine. I'll just go with it. It's manual dexterity. Like, I mean, he's checking knots and stuff, so, or checking like stitches. All right. So yeah, so you do that.
Okay.
All right, so if we're good here, and this thing's not going to go crazy anymore, what's next on the agenda? We still have like 2 hours before we're going light hunting.
Totally
Well, that's
says.
all I
you
got.
You guys haven't heard anything about a gang of whites being around doing shady shit, have you? Apparently there was some mugging people.
Tully says, I haven't heard of any such thing. And she looks over at the man. He shrugs and gives a small smile.
I think he knows who wants money.
Yeah, he's not very helpful, honestly. Alright, let's go.
All right. Are you just gonna like go back and hang out until you need to go to the place for tonight? Like Colleen, are you just planning on like walking the skeleton back to the inn, or?
Yeah, and then I guess I'm out of money, so I can't do spells, but yeah.
Okay. So you head back towards the inn. Kane, make me a charisma saving throw.
No. Oh, okay.
Always let your conscience be your guide.
It's not even my conscience. It's fucking.
All right. So yeah, and you make your way back to the inn. Let's one more time head back to Fallon. So Fallon, you start walking sort of this direction. You cross Capitol Hill. There is actually There's a low fence around this part of the city where the military HQ is, with guard stations at intervals. You walk up to one, and there's sort of like a guy in a booth there.
And I make an sound to get his attention.
All right. Says, yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I'm here to see Commander Fenris.
Who's typing, by the way?
Oh, that's me. My bad.
Okay, your mic is officially back, so I'm gonna turn your volume back down.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Oh, that
Clearly, what
first
happened when I
person.
finally turned him up.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm like-
suddenly I like started hearing you breathing.
Literally a minute ago, I'm like,
again
okay,
into
I seriously need to
keyboard.
actually turn him up. And suddenly he's back loud again.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Wait, I'm sorry, I got distracted. What was the last thing you said to the guard?
I said I'm here to see Commander Fenris.
It says, "Oh, what's your? Can you tell me your business or give me a note to confirm?"
Well, it turns out he's my uncle, and I've never met him.
Right. Any proof of that?
Yeah, I got it right. And I show him the paper.
He looks at it. Interesting. Wait here for a moment. And he hands it back to you.
Cool.
He leaves. You see him talk to someone for a moment on the other side, and then he comes back to his little station. He says, "Sent back someone to check. If what you're holding is authentic, then we'll see what we can do. The commander is understandably rather busy right now, but we'll see if he can spare a moment." You wait a while. Not too long, maybe 20 minutes. And another soldier sort of comes hustling back. You hear shouted from the other side of the gate, "Let him through." He says, and he sort of turns a winch. Little gate opens, and he says, "Go ahead." And let me actually give this guy a name. What is your name gonna be? Draw from my bucket. And he says, "Braydock will take you back."
I try to high five this guard.
Okay. So let me see. Yeah. All right. Give me performance again,
Performance?
or
Okay.
persuasion. That's what I meant. Oh, come on. He smiles, but nothing more. That being said, make one more persuasion check as you keep walking and run into the other soldier.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing.
Do you want? Okay, understanding you just failed the check, but do you want to? Okay, so you. Would you have tried to high five the other guard? Let me ask that question.
Sure.
All right. You sort of keep your hand up as he comes through, and the other guard sort of looks at you, shrugs, and like weakly puts up his hand towards yours and like taps it lightly and says, "Follow me."
And I turn to Anya and say, 1 out of 3.
Anya sort of chuckles and shakes her head. The guard takes you back through rows of just sort of regular buildings. A lot of them appear to be storehouses. You see one that looks like quarters, basically. Past a mess hall. Finally does take you down towards a more, like a nicer looking building made of a similar sort of granite stone as the archive that you went to before. He guides you past the desk. He exchanges a few words with the person at the desk. Leads you back to a set of stairs. You might notice Anya being a little bit. What's the right word that I'm looking for? Like just the vibe of being in an unfamiliar place and trying to be on her best behavior, if you will.
Okay.
He takes you up a set of stairs. It goes up about 9 steps to a landing, then turns and goes up another 9 steps. Turns right, walks partway down a hallway until you're fairly close to the door at the end. And he says, "Door at the end of the hallway is the one you want. This is where I leave off."
Thanks. What was his name?
Braydock.
Braydock.
Just doing my duty for king and country. And he smiles a little bit.
Cool. Then go check out the door. I say, "Shall we?" to Anya, and we walk towards the door.
Says, "Age before beauty. I mean, sure." You're actually reasonably close to the same age, I think. She's probably younger than you still. But anyways, all right, so you knock on the door. You hear a sort of a deep, gruff voice from the other side say, "Come in." You open the door, and You see on the other side a man with sort of a full beard but stubbly, like he shaved it maybe a week ago or something like that. Like it's trimmed, it's just very short. He does, however, have longer sort of reddish hair. His face is sort of pocked and scarred. He's older, but not yet old. Sort of still physically very capable seeming. Actually extremely strong looking.
Old man strength.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of that thick, tough muscle on him. Sort of build-wise, fairly similar to you. And he looks at you with pale green eyes and says, "So, tell me I got a relative I didn't know about."
I've got a whole family I didn't know.
He gestures towards a small table with a few chairs around it. "Come take a seat, let's talk."
So as I'm going to sit, I pull out my scroll of pedigree again, and I start looking at it, and I say, "So you're Arden?"
"I am. You fit on this somewhere."
I say, "Yeah." Did I know my dad? What's my
Yeah, it
father's
occurs
name?
to me we never actually made up your dad's name. Do you have a preference? You can choose if you want to.
Dave.
Ragnar.
That's fascinating, because that's actually... Anyways. I actually had that as a potential NPC name on the bucket that I just drew from. I almost chose it just now, and I went with Braydock instead. So, it's funny.
Nice.
Alright. Alright. So yeah. Okay, so go ahead. Your father is named Ragnar.
Yeah, apparently Ragnar was my father, and and I show him the paper and I said, "Here you go." I don't know if he needs to look at it.
He looks in your eyes for a moment, and he says, "Your mother, she well?"
Afraid not.
That must
Don't
feel
tell him.
terrible.
Well, I'll fill you in a bit, and I kind of look at Anya with a slight reluctant look and say, "So apparently she killed him before I was born, and she was some sort of spy for those snake people or something."
He looks at you. So what I'm gathering is not someone you're on friendly terms with.
Well, so I accidentally ran into her again, and she tried to sacrifice me.
He leans back a bit and says, "Yep, that sounds like your mother." He claps a hand on your shoulder and says, "Good to meet you, nephew." And that's where we're going to leave off for tonight.
Spend my entire day working on Modify Memory.
Noted.
I keep forgetting about the damn voice in my head that stops me from doing mischievous things.
Alright.
I mean, come on, Casey. That was a perfect revenge. It would have been the perfect revenge.
So, Internet, have a lovely rest of your life. Or lovely rest of your short, sad, but hopefully joy-filled life.
Holy shit. You
Way to
can't
get
say
dark.
sad and then joyful, Casey.
You're short, miserable,
Someone given emo today.
worthless lives.
Yeah, I don't know where that
Jesus
came
Christ.
from. Maybe it's just general.
He's just gonna show up next week with like lots and lots of eyeliner, growing his hair out, wearing a black trench coat.
It's just sadness about the things that people believe these days just because it's on Facebook. Anyways, you know what? I take it all back. Internet, lovely. Take care of yourselves. See you again next week.
Keep up the good news.
Good night and good luck.